General Hospital spoilers have been teasing something strange about Michael, and strange is probably the only word that fits, because this surprise is not loud, not explosive, it just creeps in, the kind of surprise that sits quietly in your head and refuses to leave. Michael might learn something he was never supposed to know, or maybe he already knows and just has not admitted it out loud yet. Tracy has taken back the Quartermain family heirlooms from Drew's house. That much is true. Or at least that is what the situation looks like from the outside. The question is not whether the items are back where they belong. The question is how Michael becomes part of this picture without meaning to. It could be something simple, almost stupidly simple. Michael sees the items. Maybe they are laid out on a table at the mansion, not even hidden. Tracy never really hides things when she thinks she is right. Or maybe Tracy tells him herself, casually, as if she is talking about the weather, saying she reclaimed what was stolen from the family long ago. Tracy does not usually ask permission, she announces. But there is another angle, one that feels more uncomfortable. Did Tracy notice the key she once held, the key that should not be where it is now? People remember that key even if the show did not linger on it too long. Tracy gave that key to Martin. It was part of their arrangement, one of those quiet deals where both sides pretend it is harmless. Tracy did not know, or claims she did not know, how that same key ended up on Michael's keyring. Keys do not walk on their own. That is the problem. Someone moved it. Someone wanted it there, or did not care enough to stop it. Tracy might ask Michael directly. No warm-up, no soft tone. Have you seen Martin lately? Michael would probably say no, because that is the truth. He really has not seen Martin in some time. Tracy believes him, at least on the surface, but the feeling does not go away. If Michael did not meet Martin, then how did the copied key, the key Tracy used to get into Drew's house, end up so close to Michael? Close enough to be mistaken as his. Suspicion becomes inevitable. Tracy is not the type to ignore a detail just because it is inconvenient. She wants to know who deliberately placed that key among Michael's things. Even Michael himself might not know the real origin of it. That is what makes it worse. If he knew, there would be a direction, someone to blame. Not knowing turns everyone into a suspect and no one into a clear answer. Tracy might start thinking bigger, darker. Is there a dangerous scheme aimed at Michael? Is someone setting him up? Slowly, carefully, using small objects like keys instead of threats. Tracy would want a timeline. Since the snowstorm, who has Michael met? The snowstorm matters because that was when Tracy handed the key to Martin. Anything before that is irrelevant. Anything after becomes suspicious by default. At first, Willow does not even cross Michael's mind, Tracy's mind either. They go through names, conversations, brief encounters, moments that felt meaningless at the time. Michael lists them, one by one, trying to be helpful, trying to be calm. When Willow's name comes up, almost by accident, Tracy pauses. Not dramatically, just enough. Enough to signal that something clicked. Tracy starts to form a theory, not because she wants to accuse Willow, but because the logic fits too well to ignore. Willow could have taken the key from Martin. Willow would have had access. Willow would not have raised suspicion. She is Drew's wife. Drew is the homeowner. If anyone had a right to handle keys connected to that house, it would be Willow. That does not mean she is guilty, but it makes the possibility real. Too real. To be sure, Tracy might decide to call Martin. She does not like uncertainty, and Martin is the loose end that needs to be pulled. Tracy and Michael question him together. The room feels tense, but controlled. Martin starts to respond, maybe deflecting, maybe joking, maybe stalling. He does not even get the chance to finish his explanation. Chase arrives with an arrest warrant in hand. The timing feels wrong, almost staged. It looks like Chase noticed the key even before Tracy did, or at least before she voiced her concern. Chase claims there was a break-in at Drew's house and that several items are missing. He insists Michael needs to come in for questioning. Fans already know the truth, that the missing items Chase refers to are the Quartermain heirlooms, the ones Tracy took back. Chase might even know that Tracy was the one who took them, but he keeps that detail to himself. Chase's goal is not justice in this moment, it is leverage. He wants Michael in custody. Once Michael is in the interrogation room, the real focus shifts. Chase is less interested in the burglary and more interested in whether Michael shot Drew in the past. Michael denies it, of course. He also insists he does not know how the key ended up with him. Michael's frustration boils over. He shouts at Chase, accusing him of framing him, of abusing his authority. Michael was brought in for a supposed break-in, yet Chase keeps pushing questions about the shooting. The lines blur. The accusation feels personal, and Michael realizes that this was never about a key, or heirlooms, or even Drew's house. It was about trapping him in a narrative he cannot escape easily. The silence after Michael is taken away does not feel peaceful. It feels unfinished. Tracy stands there replaying everything in her head, the key, the timing, the way Chase did not seem surprised. She hates loose ends more than enemies. Someone wanted Michael in this position. Someone took a small object and turned it into a weapon. Michael, sitting in the interrogation room, keeps staring at the table, then at his hands, then at the wall. He tries to remember when he last touched his keys without thinking. That is the scary part. Keys are invisible until they matter. He cannot recall a moment when the key appeared. That means it could have been there longer than he thinks. Or it means someone put it there very recently and he was too distracted to notice. Chase presses again, about the past, about the gun, about Drew. Michael's answers become shorter. Not because he is hiding something, but because he is tired of defending himself against questions that feel predetermined. He tells Chase again that he did not shoot Drew. He tells him again that he does not know where the key came from. Repetition does not bring relief. It just makes the room smaller. Outside, Tracy is already connecting dots that Michael cannot see from inside that room. If Willow had access, why would she give the key to Michael unless she did not intend to? Unless someone else moved it again. Martin comes back into her thoughts. Martin is slippery. He always has been. He could have lost the key or traded it or handed it over without thinking about the consequences. Tracy considers whether this was meant to protect someone else by sacrificing Michael or whether Michael was the target all along. The idea that Michael might be collateral damage does not sit well with her. He is a quarterman. That means something to her, even if she rarely says it out loud. Chase eventually leaves the room, promising nothing, implying everything. Michael is left alone with his thoughts. Anger gives way to something colder, realization. Someone is controlling the narrative, and he is reacting instead of acting. That has never been his strength. Back at the mansion, the heirlooms sit quietly, restored but heavy with consequence. Objects carry stories, and these objects have triggered more chaos than Tracy expected. She wanted to reclaim history, not create a new mess. Michael is released later, not charged, but not cleared either. The shadow remains. The key is returned to evidence, tagged, labeled, stripped of its mystery, and yet still powerful. Tracy and Michael talk again, this time slower. They go over everything once more, not because they expect new answers, but because repetition sometimes reveals what logic misses. Willow's name comes up again. It hangs there. Neither of them wants to say more than necessary. The danger now is not just legal, it is relational. Trust has cracks. Everyone involved feels it, even if they pretend otherwise. The key was small, the fallout is not. And somewhere in the background, Drew remains the silent center of it all. A house, a past shooting, a marriage that complicates motives. Nothing is resolved. Everything is connected. Michael understands now that surprises are not always sudden. Some of them arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary objects, waiting for the right moment to matter. Michael does not sleep well after that. Not in the jail cell, not even after being released. Sleep comes in fragments, short bursts, then gone. He keeps seeing the key, not the shape, but the weight of it. Heavy in his pocket, heavy in his head. He keeps thinking how something so small can ruin the order of a whole day, then a whole week. People around him act normal, too normal. That bothers him more than anger would. Willow asks if he is okay, and he says yes too fast. Tracy watches him without asking questions, which means she is asking them silently. The house feels crowded, even when no one speaks. Michael tries to retrace his steps again, not just who he met, but where he stood, what tables he leaned on, whose coat was near his. He remembers Willow near his jacket once. Or maybe that is a false memory forming because Tracy planted the idea. He hates that he cannot be sure. Memory starts lying when pressure builds. Chase does not stop. That is another thing Michael notices quickly. Officially, the investigation is about the break-in. Unofficially, Chase keeps circling back to Drew, the shooting, the past that refuses to stay past. Chase asks questions that sound casual but are not. Did you ever feel angry that day? Were you alone? Did anyone see you leave? Michael answers, but the answers feel useless. Chase already has his version. Michael can hear it in the pauses, in the way Chase looks down before asking the next thing. Tracy, meanwhile, starts pushing in her own way. Quiet phone calls, names spoken softly. She wants to know who benefited from Michael being questioned. She suspects Chase is not acting alone. Cops rarely do when they feel this confident. Someone higher or someone personal. Martin becomes harder to find. That does not help. Tracy leaves messages. Polite ones at first, then sharper. Martin knows something. She is sure of it. Even if he did not intend harm, he let the key move. Let it travel. That makes him responsible whether he likes it or not. Willow senses the shift. She asks Michael why Tracy keeps looking at her like that. Michael lies. Not well. He says Tracy is just stressed. Willow nods but does not look convinced. Trust is not broken, but it is stretched thin, like glass before it cracks. Chase shows up again, not with a warrant this time, just presence. He stands too close, asks if Michael remembers anything new, mentions evidence casually, the key, fingerprints, timelines. He does not say accusations outright. He lets them hover. Michael finally snaps. He tells Chase to stop pretending this is about a house. He tells him he knows Chase is fishing for the shooting confession. Chase does not deny it. He just says, sometimes the truth takes time. That line stays with Michael. Sometimes the truth takes time. Or sometimes it gets shaped by the person holding the questions. Tracy starts considering a move she does not like. Exposure. If Chase is hiding the fact that she took the heirlooms, then he is using that knowledge as leverage. She hates leverage. She prefers confrontation. But outing herself could also hurt Michael. She hesitates. That is rare for her. Meanwhile, the heirlooms sit untouched. No one celebrates their return. They feel cursed now, like they pulled trouble back into the house along with history. Martin finally appears, nervous, defensive. He claims he did not give the key to Willow directly. He says he left it somewhere. That somewhere changes depending on which sentence he is in. Tracy presses. Michael watches. He realizes Martin is not lying exactly, but not telling the whole truth either. Martin admits someone asked about access to Drew's house. He does not say who at first. Tracy stares. Silence does the work. Martin eventually mutters Willow's name, but quickly adds it was casual, harmless, nothing planned. Michael feels sick. Not because he believes Willow did something malicious, but because she got pulled into this at all. Because now Chase has a thread he can pull. And Chase does pull it. He brings Willow in for questioning. Not arrested, just questions. He frames it as routine. Michael is not allowed in the room. That feels intentional. When Willow comes out, she looks shaken but composed. She says she told the truth, that she never put the key on Michael's ring, that she barely remembers touching it. Barely is not comforting. The case drags. Days blur. Michael feels like he is constantly almost accused, almost charged, almost free. Chase keeps hovering at the edge, never crossing fully, but never stepping back. Tracy finally makes her choice. She confronts Chase privately. She tells him she took the heirlooms. She watches his face carefully. He does not look surprised. That confirms everything. She asks him what he wants. Chase says he wants the truth about Drew. Tracy laughs. Sharp. She tells him he is using the wrong Quartermain if he thinks fear will work. That confrontation does not end things, but it shifts them. Chase loses one card. Michael gains a little breathing room. Still, the damage is done. Michael knows now how easily his life can be tilted by one object, one assumption. He becomes more guarded, quieter. The key is gone. Evidence locker. But its absence is loud. Nothing resolves cleanly. The shooting question remains. The trust lines stay strained. Tracy keeps watching everyone. Willow keeps wondering if Michael doubts her. Michael keeps waking up too early. And Chase keeps waiting because he believes time is on his side.